Corals I've seen, we don't get to see here because they are banned from the import list. But what I've seen there,
Is that the spider crabs?
yeah, what's really cool is that they have already successfully bred 5 orcas. Yeah, they have 3 whale sharks in there.
Yep. Hello, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Great to have you
Pleasure.
here again.
Yeah, back in the HQ. So yeah, all very nice to be here.
After a pretty long time.
Yeah, I think actually I don't know when last time I was here. Chimelong spaceship. I've seen it on Google Maps. If you haven't Googled it or ever heard of Chimelong spaceship, it looks and sounds incredible. Hopefully you're going to tell me all the same and tell everyone the same.
First of all, we started by traveling to Asia, which I so far haven't done. Like, I've never been anywhere further east than Sochi in Russia.
Oh wow.
On the Black Sea. So for me, that was something completely new. I always dreamed, back in the days when I was doing Kung Fu and all that stuff, I always dreamt of going to China at some point. I was quite nervous. And when Claude, who's been there before, he's been to China many times, but he's also just been there half a year ago. He's consulting actively on that specific tank in that specific aquarium. And he brought me in and he said, well, you need to come over because we need to figure out how to put flow in this tank. And I had no idea. I Googled a little bit, of course. I was like mind blown. But other than that, didn't see the inside, didn't watch any videos. Claude was not allowed to show me anything because he has like 180 pages NDA.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that we got to film a lot as well during
That's cool.
Claude doing all his stuff and
we're going to be able to share that with everybody?
Oh yeah, well all the footage that we were allowed to take, we are allowed to share. So you'll see those in this video. Yeah, so at the first time traveling to China, a bit nervous. I mean, I've been traveling a lot past half year. We've been
a few places,
around.
yeah. And I'm fortunate enough to have been to China 4 or 5 times. I've kind of got a bit of an idea, but it's always been the industrial stuff from previous employments.
Yeah,
and I've seen many a flower market, the fish markets, and they are something to open your eyes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Arriving in Hong Kong, it was hot like hell. 36 degrees, so really warm. Roughly 150% humidity felt. Everything was wet.
Yeah.
Like you would walk outside and immediately I couldn't see anything, glasses all fogged up. We stayed in Kowloon for the first 2 nights.
Okay.
What Claude told me, Kowloon, that's where also the Goldfish street is, this market in Mongkok, where we wanted to go. So that was one thing that he wanted to show me. And also all the markets on the street with all the food and stuff. I didn't film there because I wouldn't feel good like filming the people behind there.
Doing their thing, right?
Doing their thing.
Making a living.
But what I've seen there, I mean, really, nothing disgusting or so, but just the total difference in what you see on the market here.
Yeah.
Beginning with fresh fruit and veggies and produce and all that stuff. Stands with everything in superb quality. And then, of course, all those fruit that you don't get to see where we are. Weird looking dragon fruits and all that stuff.
Durian.
All super fresh. And also they have fish, of course, and seafood and everything you can think of. First thing that I noticed when arriving and walking around the streets of Kowloon, super clean. No cigarette butts, no chewing gum, spit on nothing. That was something that immediately, like, I was looking around, like, no trash, zero. Also on the market, it was all very, very clean, but there, of course, was the smell of fish, water, seafood water, just being pumped into those aquariums from one aquarium to another, and then on the street and then in the sink. So I can't recommend walking barefoot on those streets.
Yeah, don't pack your flip-flops.
That's rough. And also the food is all fresh, which means you can get fish this size, alive, lying on a plate with water just dripping in. So the fish is just breathing on one side and ethics-wise, I don't want to be the one judging. There's many things to be judged. You might have seen that in the German videos we already did. But then also in this video, you'll see some stuff that ethically is questionable.
By our standards.
By our standards.
Yeah.
That's exactly the thing. It's always our standard. That standard that we try to put over everybody's head.
And what we think is normal isn't necessarily what's normal for another culture.
Yeah, those are things that, it's just reality and you have to live with that fact. And if you buy that fish, it's really fresh, and they just butcher it up right there, and
Yep.
then you just take home the fresh fish. That's a good thing, rather than eating an old fish.
True.
But if you go there, make sure that you can stand those views. It's rough. The next morning we went a bit shopping, and then in the noon we met with our partner in China, one of our partners that we also work together with. He introduced us to some of the store owners. So on that first night, we also went into the Goldfish Street and checked out the area that you could check out. It's not allowed to take any pictures, no photographs, and it's really enforced. If you pull out a camera, people will be running out of those stores and put up all those signs of please don't take pictures. Yeah. Imagine there's probably 150 stores, all aquariums, so freshwater, saltwater, aquarium equipment, everything
next in,
super dense on like
packed in, yeah.
200 meters of street or 300 meters of street. What we didn't know, all the cool stores are like one story up.
Okay.
Behind those. You actually don't see them because you have to walk in through a passageway that looks more like a private house entrance. And then you just pass by some apartments. And then suddenly there's a fish store.
So I've been there, but I didn't realize there was another layer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can check out all those blue lights for the marine stores.
Yeah.
And then you'll see like in the first floor or second floor, then there's like blue lighting coming. The stores in general, it's amazing that they all work there on one street. Some are very specialized in what they do, so you'll see one of those freshwater, others saltwater, and then you have like stores only with plants and everything.
And koi as well.
Koi as well is a big thing. All sorts of goldfish and one of the crazy colors. There's also a lot of artificial colored fish you'll see. The fish are ready to go,
the dyed ones,
hanging in a plastic bag outside, and you can just pick 10 each day. And I was just walking around. Like
it is truly mind-blowing, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's completely different to what we
And I'd
see.
Wholeheartedly recommend, if you can get out there and you're going to China, please go to the fish markets, because they are just something to behold.
Yeah, absolutely. That was like the first evening, and then the second day, as we met with XM, he then introduced us to a saltwater aquarium store.
Okay.
They were happy to show us around, and all these store owners, most of them get along very well with each other, so they have a good relationship. He showed us his store, explained everything, and then he said, well, we're allowed to film. We took a lot of footage in these stores, and then you walk into the next passageway and you walk up, and then there's a Reef store. You know, not even 20 meters away.
Yeah.
You walk up and there's a Reef store. Really, really cool corals. I mean, there's importing stations right next to it, like next door. That's where all the fish are coming in. And this store is then selling to all the other stores. But he's focused on just importing and quarantining. It's just impressive. The prices there are crazy, crazy expensive for store space. Like the rent is mind-blowing. Like for a tiny store, 10,000 euros easily. Tiny store means like a garage-sized front. That was really interesting to see those stores, and we explored 6, 7, 8 different stores. That's the first store where we just arrived with XM, and they have everything you need. Corals I've seen we don't get to see here because they are banned from the import list.
There's some stuff we don't get in Europe, but we see it regularly in America and other places.
And some really cool animals like dual colors, you know, all these freaking things. Like they had some acros that are just not grown together as two different pieces, but just developed two different colors.
Okay.
So what's really cool in these stores is most of them, they have everything, hardware and fish and corals. And there's also many of the good stores that sell high quality equipment, but we also heard that the customers there are very aware that if you sell a famous brand product, exclusive, high priced, that contains stuff made around the corner, they don't like that very much.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes good sense, doesn't
so
it?
then,
You know?
Because then they feel they're being ripped
Reef
off.
text.
Yeah, but you see, corals everywhere, in any color. We're still in one store, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The reef tank sizes, due to the high rent, the reef tank that is most sold is like, 60 by 30 by 30, or maybe 80 by 40 or a meter Those
Yeah.
are the majority of reef tanks. But then, of course, you do have customers where you have like 2-meter reef tank, 3-meter reef tank.
There's always going to be those guys. But interestingly, that is actually the same for the UK. Probably the most common reef tank size is a 3 foot 90 centimeter.
All right.
You know, that 1 meter mark.
Have you seen that fish?
Yeah, it's a hybrid of clown of some sort. I don't know the variety.
Yeah,
but
they look like a clownfish, but then with those long fins.
yeah.
Like those, what are these fighting fish?
Beta splendens,
Yeah.
Siamese fighting fish.
That's what they look like. So I haven't seen that. It's like a Zakophyton, but with green polyps. But not only the tip, but I mean, I have this one green one.
Yeah.
But the polyps are.
Yeah, there is like a
brownish.
long tentacled green
Yeah.
toady.
And also the stores, like really clean.
Yeah.
And packed with aquariums and equipment.
Yeah.
You see that everywhere there's a tank. Most stores actually have really cool show tanks.
Yeah.
You see that in the store tanks, they have massive flow and wave motion. From these professional stores that were like in the first and second story, we saw maybe 2 or 3 that were actually selling frags. But
Okay.
mostly it's larger corals.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's quite surprising when you've got people buying smaller tanks.
Yeah.
You'd expect that they'd have a bigger range with frags rather than, you know, nice big chunks of coral.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's just Goniopora.
Wow.
And it's just massive.
Yeah.
And it's like every color that you can think of a Goniopora
That's
in
really
this
cool.
tank. And that's just a meter. And the tank was completely filled, like not one empty spot. And all the corals in really good condition. Even Claude was blown away that they...
Oh, and he can find a pest a mile off.
Oh, this one I haven't seen. Green and yellow.
It's a scolly, right?
Yeah, but just green and yellow. And then that's a Gorgonia, but there's
Yeah.
something growing on it. I forgot, really. Very interesting, hard to keep. Claude said doesn't really make sense to have that. Yeah, so that was our shopping tour.
Looks like an adventure in itself, let alone...
Absolutely. And then the next day, that was Sunday, we basically slept in for a little bit. And then we went to the Hong Kong Ocean Park, which also is a big aquarium. And then also a theme park right in Hong Kong on the hills, on the rear side of Hong Kong, basically.
Okay.
Aquariums are okay. We didn't get the behind the scenes tour as nobody had the time to meet with us, unfortunately. But in general, very nicely themed, some really nice animals in there. Fantastic tank with octopus, GPO in there. Grand Aquarium, the reef tank is okay with the glass. Didn't look very well maintained. Corals look great, pretty big display. Some nice table acros in there.
Yeah. The theming in there looks really good.
Yeah, it's really good. The rock work looked fantastic. Different species, different tanks, some very dark. Giant crabs.
Is that the spider crabs?
Yeah, really cool, but wait till you see the other tank.
Yeah.
This is not big. We also saw the pandas. Haven't seen those before. That was really, really nice. As far as I understood it, all the pandas that are kept in captivity elsewhere than in China are just loaners from China.
Oh,
So nobody can own them.
that's interesting.
Except China. Don't forget, because of the high population that you have there in China, in basically every larger city, those zoos are not made for 100,000 visitors or 200,000 visitors. It's millions per year. So the walking spaces in between the aquariums and the whole zoos, like you can literally have 10 people walking hand by hand and
Wow.
you can just walk through. I mean, Hong Kong, you can still get along with English very, very good, as most people speak English and have learned English. And also every sign is in Chinese letters and English letters. So you'll get along. That changes when you move from Hong Kong to the People's Republic of China.
Tell me about
Chimelong.
it.
Chimelong is something that is off the scale from what I've seen.
You have to Google it.
Yeah, Google it, just picture search Chimelong spaceship at night. There's like the Voyager basically. And the Chimelong spaceship is located next to Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, which is a theme park and public aquarium that is gigantic already. And they put this spaceship next to the theme park. To give you an idea, the size of the building, its length is 650 meters.
That's insane.
So that's like almost pretty much half a mile
Yeah.
long, just the building. And then you have 3 stories where visitors are walking in. Inside this building, everything, roller coasters, food, fun,
Incredible.
hotel, aquariums, massive aquariums. So we arrived there. We took the ferry from Kowloon directly to Zhuhai, which is the city that the spaceship is located. The company Chimelong is basically a huge entertainment company, just like Merlin Entertainments, Disney, and all those. They have multiple locations with hotels and theme parks, and they're planning to build more of those theme parks and those spaceships. So we arrived on Sunday evening. The director actually came to the theme park to say hi and welcome us, so that was very nice.
Yeah.
We were meeting at 8:30. First visitors go in at 9:30, so the first hour you're alone in this area. You walk in, perfectly themed, everything. It's massive. And then you walk to this reef tank. I mean, you've seen our videos from Burger Zoo. We all know what kind of work that takes to run a system like that. So this tank is roughly 4 times the size of Burger Zoo. So it's 3,200 cubic meters of water just in the main tank.
3.2 million liters.
Yeah.
Insane.
So the tank basically consists out of 3 circular shaped tanks that are put together with like a concave window.
Okay.
So it goes from a larger circle to a smaller circle and then to a smallest circle.
Yeah.
The smallest being 15 meters roughly in diameter. The mid-size one is like 26, and then the big circle is 33 meters across. And then water depth is 6 meters.
Okay.
It's massive. Theming is done perfectly. I mean, you see this in those videos.
I mean, to me, that looks like natural reefscape.
Absolutely. It looks really, really
what
nice.
You would see when you're diving.
Oh, that's our AFC 1200 sample hanging in there.
Oh, yeah.
So at first we, of course, had to do our work, so I was only able to film a bit later. Because the first day we arrived, it was just workshops, training, explanations, measuring, all that stuff. They put in 15,000 corals as the first start, and some of them have grown massively already. So you'll see table acros with 1.5, 2 meters diameter already.
Yeah.
Some corals are not quite there yet, but Claude is working on that, and they're improving their water quality and analysis continuously. So he's doing ICP there on every tank, maintaining the water parameters and helping them. They actually have a limitation in nitrogen right now, which is the biggest issue.
On a big tank like that?
Yes.
Really?
And with a massive amount of fish in there. The phosphate is very low as well, nitrate as well.
Yeah.
So they have some giant algae filters. Really, really cool design. And they're actually too effective for this reef tank right now. So it's 4 rows of filters with algae in the front, those little bubble algae. And then they have like a second basin after that with calapa and all the other macroalgae.
Yeah.
And then they have another basin with mangroves in there.
Nice.
And that quadrupled.
I mean, they sound like great displays on their own.
Absolutely. Just the theming of the reef tank, right?
Yeah,
that's like diagonally across the big section.
I want to get in and swim. And I remember this from seeing Joe's tank at Long Island for the first time a few months ago. You don't get the sense of scale of depth because I didn't realize in Joe's tank you can actually walk all the way around it because there's enough space. But when you look through the window, it looks like you're right on the reef. It's probably even more so in a tank like that. You don't get the depth scale, really.
They themed it perfectly, so the design of the tank is done that you only in a very few spaces you'll actually see the other side of the wall of the tank or another window. The longest axis you can look through the tank without disturbance into a corner is almost 70 meters.
70?
70. That's diagonally from the second circle into the larger circle.
And is the visibility clear enough? You can see all 70 meters?
Well, almost. They could get it clearer,
but most aquariums don't want to, do they?
Exactly.
Because it helps give the perception.
You'll see that the reef ends, but you'll not really see the wall structure. It leaves a very, very good impression. The display tank for the Orcas is 11 million liters, but they're only in there for a day. They have a holding area that is connected to that, which has another 40 million liters. As far as I've seen it, by comparing to aquariums that used to have Orcas, they have easily 2 or 3 times the size of the tanks. Still, cetaceans, captivity, a thing. Leave your comments, give us your opinion, tell us what you think. What's really cool is that they have already successfully bred 5 Orcas.
Oh wow.
So they're keeping, right now, 14.
That's incredible.
It's a massive installation, and they're breeding those and can't judge it whether they're happy or not. But
I mean, what we can do is give them some flow, for sure.
yeah, that we can do. It's a complicated thing, but seeing those animals is just amazing. And that's not the biggest tank they have there.
Well, the whole system for the orcas is 50 million
Yeah,
plus.
50 million plus liters.
And that's not the biggest one.
That's not the biggest one. The main window on the orcas is 48 meters long and 8.5 meters high. When you walk in front of that screen, it takes you like a couple of minutes to walk to the other side. We've been picked up by the staff of the Ocean Kingdom of that other theme park, which is next door. And then they drove us there, and then we went to the other aquariums. They have like penguins, all sorts of penguins and polar bear and whatnot. There's a jellyfish tank.
Wow. Wait, that's a really cool effect from the lighting.
Yeah, so they put like...
How long is it?
I don't know, maybe 12, 15 meters
Yeah.
wide. And then just 3 or 4 meters high. And I don't know how deep, because the lighting goes like in multiple areas. So depending on where the jellyfish are, you'll see them in different color. And then you see that display. This panel is also close to 50 meters, a bit higher than the one on the Orca tank. They have 3 whale sharks in there.
Yep.
The longest distance across the tank is 100 meters. And the shortest distance of the tank is 50 meters.
Wow.
So the whole system volume is 33,000 cubic meters.
33,000
Yeah, that's the
cubic meters.
biggest single tank that they have. Chimelong, Ocean Kingdom and the spaceship together hold almost exactly 1 billion liters of water. So we saw the feeding of the whale sharks, which they do with divers. So the divers have like a giant syringe, like a 150 diameter pipe, and then they just swim in front of the mouth and then just in there. Massive animals. They also hold the world record for the largest underwater dome that is easily 20 meters across. It's just a dome and you're standing underneath 15 meters of water.
Jesus.
They also have manta ray in there, of course.
You know, of course they do.
Also, their beluga display is worth looking at. 7,000 cubic meters in the main display, a ginormous holding area as well.
Yeah.
We didn't go behind the scenes on that one as we just had no time. So Ocean Kingdom, the whole visit was like 3 or 4 hours.
And it sounds like you need a day plus just for that bit.
Oh yeah.
You know, you'd spend a couple of days at this place, right?
Easily. This is the ending basically of our visit. We're sitting in the restaurant and Chimelong thankfully reserved us the best table, and we're sitting like 2 meters away from this panel having lunch.
Wow,
and then
that is
really nice lunch, and then these animals are passing by. So that was definitely worth the travel. I'm totally blown away. Also, the people have been super, super nice to us. They're super inviting, very open-minded, curious about what we had to say, spent intense time and work time with us. This will be, in my opinion, if Claude is being successful in his work and, you know, if the tank gets the flow that it needs and all that stuff. So if we solve those issues, I'm sure that will be the best reef tank in the world. Hands down. There's no, I haven't seen anything else like that.
It's got the volume there.
You got the volume, you got the theming, the whole scaping of the rock work. It also looks so natural. And if those corals are growing, it'll be absolutely amazing. I want to reach out and say thanks to Chimelong and all the aquarium staff for having us and showing us and giving us the opportunity to do also some videos on site and showing us around. It's been absolute pleasure and honor to go there. They are very happy, as far as we've heard so far, with the tests of the pumps.
Yeah.
You can imagine getting those 3 large cylinders to flow properly. It takes a little bit. So
for sure,
we're talking about a lot of those AFC 1200s in there. And they're actually asking for bigger ones. So we're installing the small one. All right, guys, stay tuned. We'll see you next Saturday. Take care.
See you later.
Leave us a like and subscribe. Put all these bells on. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.